Welcome back to the Give and Go Basketball Podcast. I am with Ben Sperry and Ryan Steele. I'm your host, Mitch Shreve. We got a fun segment planned for you here, and I don't know how this got started. And I think it was it Ben's idea or Ryan's idea?
Benjamin.
All right, so it was Ben's idea. And Ben, I'm going to give this to you in a second here, but we are going to be comparing NBA players to superheroes. Comic book characters. And Ben, I gotta know where you got this idea from.
I just was thinking of different players and like kind of the runs they were going on and who it then like made me like think of from like the fictional realm. And the first one was actually just this tear that Steph Curry's been on. I was like, he's basically John Wick out there the last couple weeks, right? It's like somebody killed his dog and he just went nuts and he started like, I'm just gonna hit every three for the next 2 weeks because somebody's pissed me off. And that's not really his character, I guess. So maybe it doesn't quite fit. I've heard Human Torch and some of these other ones used for Steph Curry as well. But it just felt like this run he's been on the last couple of weeks was did I do it again?
Yeah, you did it. So a little backstory.
Very John Wick.
Yeah, a little backstory. Ben's mic has been going a little choppy and kind of glitching out on us. And while we were off camera, he held his finger up for a split second. Well, it froze right when he had his finger over his mustache. So we got.
So if you see this, I just know Ben's mic is.
Ben glitched out. But anyways, it was kind of funny too. Steele, you had mentioned that you were at home just cracking up at the text messages we had going back and forth.
Well, yeah, I mean, we kind of just started shooting some ideas off the cuff to each other about guys that remind me of this guy or that guy, and some of them are honestly really good, and they really make a lot of sense. For coaching, I have because we're trying to figure out games, if games are on, if games are canceled. Unfortunately, it's an everyday occurrence. So I have my phone with me during class. So I'm trying to referee a game, and my phone keeps blowing up. So I keep looking at it to see if it's a update on our game situation or not all week. And here it's you guys just keep blasting these things, and I'm sitting there cracking up. They were great. So let's hear some of these comparisons to comic book heroes to NBA players. Who wants to go first? Because I know you both have a bunch of good ones. Okay, so like Ben said, the idea started from Steph Curry, John Wick, him just going off, killing everybody. And then I think we get into some of the more obvious ones. And Ben referenced this in kind of our talks, was LeBron would be just boring ass Superman. Like he would just be, Mr. I'm here to save the day, the face of the superhero, brand kind of, the most long-standing kind of superhero. But then I think we have a lot more creative ones. One that me and Ben like a lot would be Chris Paul would be Iron Man. For the fact that, he is one of the greats, one of the best, but maybe he's not everybody's favorite. He rubs people the wrong way. He's kind of, a douche sometimes. And even his own teammates don't necessarily like him all the time because the way he treats them during game time situations.
But yet he's the consummate leader. He's a genius.
Yes, right? It's pros and cons to every superhero here. Man.
Right, and it feels like he punches even considerably above his like super power level.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
As he continues to be great with the longevity. So,
and showing off my nerd side a little bit, Tony Stark worked with the government a little bit. Is Chris Paul still the head of the players union?
It's all right there.
Chris Paul a snitch. I was like, dang. I was like, dang, he's on paperwork. What's going on out here?
Just saying, though, players union ties with the government a little bit.
Business side. I see it.
Business savvy. Jake from State Farm. Anybody? Come on now.
So I thought that was a really good one. Ben also said Jimmy Butler as Batman. Because really, I mean, he's just a dude. He's just a dude that will fight. A dude will fight, puts his little suit on, but doesn't have any real powers.
He has no superpowers, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe it's weird. It doesn't quite work because like Batman, I mean, he does have billions of dollars, so that helps him. Whereas Jimmy's like the working class, like
True.
superhero in a sense. He came up from nothing, but at the same time, it feels like, you know, it kind of works in a weird way because they're just like leaders that raise the level again.
Well, because
but they do it differently.
Batman to me is not really a superhero because he doesn't have like
doesn't have any
superhero
superpowers.
abilities.
No,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? He doesn't have any powers. So
And that the argument is Jimmy Butler a superstar, but then, you know, the team gets to the finals and it's like, what does it matter? I mean, he helped lead a team, you know, way beyond where people expected him to be. So.
And my personal favorite was Russell Westbrook is Killmonger. I think, I mean, if, you know, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Black Panther by now, what have you been doing for like the last 8 years of your life? But, you know, a villain who basically is like a hissing radiator at all times, you know, and but loved by his group, you know, fighting for what he believes is right, and kind of, you know, proven to be right in a lot of ways, you know, and you kind of feel why he's so feisty and why he is the way he is, why he plays the villain, you know.
And I think this really works because of all the guys that you can think of in the NBA. I can think of nobody more that would like just destroy an individual superstar in a matchup and like yell, "Is this your king?" while he's doing it than Russell Westbrook would. Right. So like watch this in the play-in games and then maybe possibly playoffs. If Washington gets in and then, you know, they win a game or two, maybe just one, but because, you know, Russell Westbrook has a 40-point triple-double, he's going to act like he's the baddest.
Russ's version of "Is this your king?" is this right here.
He can still, in given moments, be the baddest dude on the basketball court. And,
sure.
and you know, I can totally imagine that situation arising.
We would go ahead.
I was gonna call you out on one. I want to hear your comparison to Robin, from Batman and Robin. If you don't know who I'm referencing,
okay,
this was the one that got me. I started busting up laughing big time.
So to me, Kyrie Irving is Robin because Robin's cool. You know what I'm saying? He does his thing. Like nobody hates. I mean, Robin does his thing, but he's atrocious without Batman. He's a stinking loser without Batman. He always gets himself into some trouble. Batman tries to tell him, "Don't go in there, Robin. Wait for me, dude." And he runs in there, gets himself all caught up. Batman got to come save him. Look at Kyrie, man. He tries to go off on his own every time. We with the Cavs, he stunk. And then, you know, he went to Celtics. They were better without him. So he needs his LeBron or his KD or his, you know, somebody to be his Batman for him to be good. That's my theory with Kyrie.
And, you know, that even kind of works with comic book lore to some degree, because if I'm remembering correctly, Robin eventually becomes Nightwing, which is like this other Batman knockoff because he wants, you know, to have more shine. So, you know, maybe that's who he is. He's Nightwing.
Yeah. And then Ryan, I also liked your Giannis.
So, I mean, this is really just typecasting because I said Giannis could either be Inspector Gadget or Stretch Armstrong, but obviously I'm dumb because he just has long arms. I'm not sure if that one really.
Well, that's why I said Kevin Durant would be Mr. Fantastic, and it kind of works because he's a leader too. Because Mr. Fantastic's leader of the Fantastic Four, but that's his powers being, you know, long.
Giannis, I was watching a clip and Giannis went up for a dunk, and all I could think in my head was "Go Gadget arms." So I just started busting up laughing. So I like that one. That's where I went.
See, I would go a different way with Giannis, and really it could be him or possibly Joel Embiid for this, but somebody's got to be Black Panther because that's a pretty sweet character, and just being guys that are, you know, relatively recent African heritage. I mean, Nigerian immigrants in the case of Giannis in Greece, and then of course Embiid being from he's from Senegal, right? Yeah.
Cameroon, I think.
Cameroon. Okay, yeah. No, that's right. Him and the dude from Toronto.
Yeah.
Pascal.
Siakam.
Do we have one for your guy Jokic? Can we think off the top if Jokic matches?
That's tough. I'd have to think about it for a minute because, like, I feel like his superpowers have to do with like making other people better, maybe using some magic in that sense. So maybe Doctor Strange or something.
Ooh, I like that one.
Is there any superhero that was like the boring one that just sat in the office and like gave them like info all day? Because I feel like that's what Jokic would be.
Oh, there's a lot of them out there that do that.
Because the league I think doesn't want him to be the face of the league only because he's not flashy.
Yeah.
I feel like most superheroes are somewhat flashy.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be born ass Captain America. I mean, even though he'd be Captain Serbia, but
right.
you know, like nobody wants Cap around boring ass. And
he is a really boring character. Him
he's
and
the
Superman,
worst.
man.
He's the worst.
I agree with that.
So let me test you guys a little bit now. Who's the Hulk? Who just goes out and hulks out, fights for good, but just
I think
just,
right now, I mean, Zion would be up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zion would be either the Beast from X-Men or Hulk.
mhm.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
De'Aaron Fox is Nightcrawler.
Mhm.
Or some sort of fast. He's so fast. He's got to be one of the faster superheroes.
The Flash or something.
The
Yeah.
Flash
Yeah.
or something, right? You know who was it? I think D Wade said that De'Aaron Fox is the player that realized that he had to retire. He played against the Kings one night against De'Aaron Fox and was like, okay, like nah, I can't. I just can't run like this anymore. I don't belong in this league anymore.
What about SpiderMan? Just insane athleticism, agility. I'm just trying to pick some fan favorite superheroes.
That's a good one.
and throw
That's
them
actually
at
a
you.
good question.
I mean, there's an answer. It's
He's
Donovan
gotta
Mitchell.
Ooh,
No, I think
like-
Donovan Mitchell's too cool though. Spider-Man's a cornball. So you gotta
that's
go.
fair.
Peter Parker's a goof, you know. So you gotta
That's
go
true.
like
His alter ego.
somebody who is really good, but is also like, okay, this dude's a twerp. Like I'm just trying to think somebody like that. Because to me, Donovan's not a twerp. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people are gonna kill me for this because I mean, Spider-Man's cool, but he's kind of like, yeah, let's go, guys. Here I am. I'm through this line. Watch out, web coming at you. Like he doesn't like mess, you know, he like ties them up. He don't like mess them up. Like he's not like beating people with hammers and stuff. Like
That's true. I don't know. Maybe I gotta think about it. But I was gonna go with Donovan Mitchell because his nickname's actually Spider, and I don't know. He kind of fits the mold you described.
Well, there it is.
Duncan Robinson's Jimmy Neutron with his Jimmy Neutron head.
Well, if we want to go with lookalikes, then
do you CJ McCollum?
Well, yes, but first I would say Aquaman would be my man down in
Steven
New Orleans
Adams.
now, Steven Adams, because like he
Right.
basically looks like the new Aquaman.
Poseidon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know, if you want to go for another, cross comparison, and this isn't a comic book, but CJ McCollum is he's not Steve Urkel, he's
When
Stefan
Urkel turned into
Yes.
Stefan.
Urkel. He's
Stefan
Urkel.
Urkel.
Yeah, because he's cool. He's like the cool version.
Right, he is.
I'm trying to think. Are we missing any other players that we need to have a
I
comparison?
think we had a few that we had listed the other day that were pretty good. Let's see.
I'm trying to dive into this is the X-Men world of things.
So Dame, I would say. If
that's
Steph's not,
that's the one.
So if
That's
Steph's
the one I
not
was trying
the
to
Human
think of.
Torch because he's John Wick, then Dame is like the Human Torch.
Because
Right?
he's
'Cause,
John
like,
Wick.
he just turns into fire sometimes from 3, and can't be stopped. So I got one works.
Okay, which coach is Professor X? If we're going to the X-Men world, is Pop Professor X?
He gets my
I think
vote.
Phil Jackson is Professor X since he always sat instead of standing when he coached.
Mhm. That's a good.
That's my word. I'm sticking to it.
Maybe.
Do we have
Magneto?
Magneto.
Gonna have a great villain, man.
Pat Riley.
Ooh,
Maybe.
yeah, I like
No,
that.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm trying to
I like that.
were there really that many villainous coaches?
I
You
don't know. Yeah, that's tougher.
I mean, look, we could go away with this. I think there's some that we probably shouldn't say because it might offend some people. So we could just stick to superheroes because there's some that people are like, oh, that's messed up. He don't look like that.
Well, I think this is a good time to take our next break. Hey, when we get back, we're going to go ahead and do a lightning round that we got a little inspiration from the fans a little bit. And then we'll wrap it up. Hey, this is the Give and Go Basketball Podcast. Stick around. Hi, this is Mitch Shreve with the Give and Go Basketball Podcast. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the latest updates on all of our postings and content. You can also email us at thegiveandgo3@gmail.com to ask us any questions or give us suggestions on what you'd like to hear about all things basketball. Thanks for tuning in.